Did I tell you guys about when I not auditioned but interviewed for like a part-time job at like a cafe? So, um, it was a pretty busy and well-known cafe, and it was during the summer break or something during school, and I wanted to have a part-time job. So I got my resume of what's it? I go to this and this school. I have this and this school clubs and my achievements, whatnot. Because when you're a student, you don't really have job experience. All you have is your guts and you know confidence and uh, I'll do my best kind of atmosphere. So I got through, they saw my resume. They were like, oh, can you come in for an interview like later that day? So I went. It was like one of my first job interviews, like real job interview. And I really love coffee. And I was like, I can really appeal that. Like, I really love coffee. I want to learn more about it, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to the real interview, they're like, the usual job interview questions like tell me more about yourself, tell me what you know about like this cafe, etc., etc. And then here comes like the what should I say, the behavioral questions. You got those always in the interviews where they were like, okay, so say you got the job and you're working really really hard, and there's a time where um, there's so much customers, and you're like backed up with orders. Like, what would you do? Like, how would you act in that situation? Stuff like that. And I think like I kind of try to imagine myself in this situation. I'm just like, oh, I'll do my best, blah blah blah. And then what caught me was um, I facepalm even thinking about it. So one of the questions, of course, would be like, well, what do you think would be like the difficult part of this job? It's a very generic, job interview question. And I think my answer was like, oh, when there's like a lot of customers at once, I feel like I'll be really like pressured and stuff. And that's a classic answer, That's a very solid answer, I think. Um, but then my brain kind of stopped working there, and then the next question right after that was, um, when would you feel like most? I don't know. What was the exact? I can't remember the exact wording because I tried to erase this part of the interview off my mind because back then I was kind of like, you know, that interview went horribly. I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure it was like, um, what would you feel like the least like pressure or like the opposite of the first question? So most achieved or like most happiness from the job. And then I was like, my answer was when all the customers are gone after the busy times. Because my brain was still partially answering the first question, and since the other question came right after it, it made sense in my head. But after the interview was done, I was like, yeah, I'm not getting this job.